It's so nice to have everyone here this morning. Let's begin with a spiritual mind treatment. So I invite you to follow along with me to the degree you choose, as we know together that there is only one life. That life is God's life, and that life is our life now. And as we come together to celebrate, enjoy the truth that there is only one thing, life itself, and that each of us is a divine, individualized expression of this gorgeous, beautiful, wonderful, all-giving life. Let's just know that there is good for us in this moment, that this center is a place here and now filled with love and joy that spreads out through us into the universe. There is good for us. There is good for this world. And I know that this morning service now unfolds with grace, ease, and joy for each and every person participating here today or watching later online. There is something wonderful that is in expression here and now. I claim it, I declare it, I accept it, and I invite you to recognize it with me by closing, saying, and so it is.
So it is. Well, good morning, Carlsbad.
Good
So
morning.
good to be here. Some of us are back from Hawaii. Some of us are back from LA. Some of us are. I think I choose Hawaii. We have a wonderful speaker today. I'm so excited to see all of you. In fact, what a joy! What a joy! Do we have any Laker fans, by the way? Anyway, so, let's try this. Thank you, Blessed Spirit Divine, so wonderful. Why should I feel discouraged? Why should the shadows fall? Why should my heart feel lonely and long for heaven and home? When spirit is my portion, no rays of friend is he. For his eyes on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. For his eyes on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. Oh, I sing because I'm happy, and I sing because I'm free. For his eyes on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. Let not your heart be troubled. His tender words I hear, and resting on his goodness, I lose all doubts and fear. Though by the path he leads sparrow, and I know He watches me, for His eyes on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. For I sing because I'm happy, and I sing because I'm free. For His eyes on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. For I sing because I'm happy, and I sing because I'm free. For His eyes on the sparrow, and I know she watches me.
So we're so blessed to have Michael Paul Smith as our musician today. So thank you. Beautiful. And more to come. So, welcome everyone. Good morning. I'm Reverend Kate to VBA, and it's my pleasure to welcome everyone this morning. And here at the Center for Spiritual Living Carlsbad, we believe that there is a power for good in the universe and that we can use it. And we come together today and every Sunday to teach, demonstrate, and inspire a positive spiritual approach to living. So to start off, I would like to invite I need a volunteer. I wonder if JP, would you like to volunteer? Oh, okay. Well, I think Ruth Ann would like to volunteer, wouldn't you? To light our candles this morning? You watch, JP, maybe you could do it in the future. Okay. So we light these candles to remind ourselves of the underlying spirit of life and the divine unity of all. So first, we light a candle for life. Life is everywhere present, flowing through each and every one of us. There is only one life. That life is God's life, and that life is my life now. So please affirm and say with me, I am light. We light a candle for love. The birth of love happens within each one of us. Every time we make room for the Christ consciousness in our hearts and in our lives, we are transformed. I am a point of love within the heart of God. Please affirm and say with me, I am love. We light a candle for light. The light of God is the presence and the power. We are always walking in the light. I radiate the light of God wherever I am. Please affirm and say with me, I am light. We light a candle for beauty. We are made in the likeness of image of God. We are each whole, complete, and beautiful just as we are. I accept the beauty of God's perfection as my perfection now. Please affirm and know with me, I am beauty. And we light a candle for joy. Joy is the very nature of spirit and the true essence of each of us. We celebrate the joy of our own rebirth in the God consciousness. I bring joy to the world. Please affirm and say with me, I am joy. We light a candle for peace. Today and every day we open our hearts to peace. I am the center of peace in our world. Please affirm and say with me, I am peace. Finally, I invite you to take a moment and recognize your own inner light that is always shining within as we honor our own metaphysical path of wholeness, oneness, and mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. Thank you, Ruben. Thank you, everyone. So we have just a few announcements. There are some in your program also. So let's see if this is your first or second or third visit or your 100th visit to our center. You're very welcome. If you're not receiving our weekly email, please sign the guest book and we'll get you signed up. Today, we're having a potluck after the service, so everyone is invited to join us. Then, after the potluck, we're going to have class 3 of spiritual principles and practices. So everyone in the class is encouraged to stay. And if you're curious, you can just stay for the one class if you'd like to join us. That would be fine. But some people are taking this for credits, so it's going to be a good class. I don't think it will be too long since we're having a potluck. I'm looking at Reverend Maureen. She's been leading the class, so she's got the lesson plan for the day. Now, every Sunday, I just want to remind you that we offer spiritual mind treatment as our gift to you. So today, you can either fill out a spiritual mind treatment request form, put it in the box in the lobby in the corner across from the welcome table, or you can also see one of our ministers or practitioners today after the service during fellowship. So today, let's just raise our hands if we're available today
for what?
For treatment. So we have Reverend Lori, practitioner Larry, practitioner Robert, Reverend Maureen, and Dr. Matti. We're all here for you today.
Wow. Good. Almost more than we.
Oh, one other announcement I wanted to make is that since Morgan's here, we're going to print up a directory of people who come so that we can have each other's contact information. If there's anyone who does not want to be in the directory, tell either me or Morgan, and we'll keep you out of it. Because I know there's certain people who don't want their phone number or email published. So we won't be publishing it to the world, just to the people that come on Sundays. So now, the most important thing, of course, is to thank our volunteers, because this is a community center and everything depends on our volunteers. So we have to give a big round of applause to Ruthann for these gorgeous. Not just because she's such a great flower arranger, but she's a great gardener. These are from her garden. Aren't they amazing? Yeah. Thank you. But don't worry, if you want to volunteer to do flowers, you can just go to Trader Joe's. I don't want anyone to be intimidated by having to live up to that. And I would like to thank Martha today for being our greeter, and it's so nice to have you back with us. And of course, I want to thank practitioner Larry for doing our video recording today. And as always, let's thank Jen and Angel for their setup. So the volunteer sign-up is is right on the welcome table if you'd like to sign up for next week. Next, if everyone has a program, if you could look inside it and find the group reading. Please read it with me. God is all, both visible and invisible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect love and perfect abundance. I am an individualized expression of God. I am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect abundance. Now it's time for our group song. If you did not get the words, raise your hand and we'll get some to you. Please rise.
Did I get any?
No?
Oh, is that the congregational song?
Yes, the group song.
The group song.
The congregational song?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
God is my source. Oh, wake up, Michael Ball.
Okay.
Oh, I've only had a half a cup of coffee. I'm sorry. Here we go. You guys know this. We're going to do God, love, joy, peace, and God. God, love, joy, peace, and God. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Joy is my source. Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Joy gives me everything I need. Peace is my source. Peace is my power. Peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. One more time. God gives me everything I need.
Now, I think it's fine. We're good. Just a noise. Next, I would like to invite Reverend Maureen up to give us our inspirational reading for the day.
Okay. I know that the life of the Spirit is my daily life. The Lord is my shepherd. He restoreth my soul. From Psalms 23, first and second. As we take this thought for our meditation today, the Lord is my shepherd. He restoreth my soul. Let us feel that we are one with the divine presence and enter into conscious communion with it. Communication too. This is affirmative prayer and spiritual meditation. It is through spiritual meditation that we reach out or in to that divine presence which fills all space and also finds its dwelling place in the sanctuary of our own hearts. The Lord is my shepherd. He restoreth my soul. Believing that God is everywhere and knowing that the divine life can and does restore my soul, I now affirm and deeply accept divine guidance. I believe that I am sustained by an infinite power, guided by an infinite intelligence, guarded by an infinite love. I feel this presence in, around, and through me and through all people. There's a power greater than I am upon which I may rely. I am relying on this power, and I am letting its intelligence govern and guide me. I am fully aware of divine love and protection. I lay aside every doubt or fear, and gladly enter into a newness of life. I do believe that the Lord is my shepherd. I do believe that he restores my soul. I am lovingly aware that the divine presence is not only close to me, it is not only right where I am, it is also within me and what I am. It is this inner I am, this Spirit of God within me, that is my shepherd. I not only shall not want, my cup shall run over. A table is prepared before me. This is the table that God has spread, and I gratefully acknowledge this divine bounty, this feast of life. For God's abundance is my abundance. His good is my good, and his life is my life now. And this is from Richer Living by Ernest Holmes and Raymond Charles Barker. We have
This is me.
Michael.
Thank you. Thank you. This next song, I was thinking here, should I mention what it meant to me for so long? This song was my song for such a long time when I was having some challenges in my life, and I realized that I'm okay in the moment. I'm okay right now. I'm okay. I don't have to worry about my bills right now. I don't have to worry about, family right now. I don't have to do anything. I just stay in the now. Stay here right now. Be all you are right now. Just let it be right now. And this is called This Is the Moment. This is the moment. This is the day. This is the moment when I know I'm on my way. Every endeavor I have made ever is coming into play. It's here and now, today. This is the moment, this is the time, when the momentum and moment are in rhyme. Give me this momentous moment, or I'll gather up my past and make some sense at last. This is the moment when all I've done, all of the dreaming, scheming, and screaming become one. This is the day, just see shine, when all I've lived for becomes mine. This is the moment, this is the hour, when my life opens and blooms like a lotus flower. Give me this momentous moment, For I'll gather up my past and make some sense at last. Ooh, this is the moment, my final test. Destiny beckons, I never reckoned second best. I won't look down, I must not fall, for this is the moment, the greatest moment of them all. This is the moment, damn all the odds. To stay on ever, I sit forever with my God. When I look back, I will recall all those moments for moments. Yes, this was the moment, the greatest moment of them all.
That was good.
It was good. Thank you. And how fitting. This is the moment. This is the moment when it's my great pleasure to introduce Reverend Dr. Matti Dobbs, who has been at the center a few years, is now our Minister Emeritus, and continues as my mentor and our role model, and just keeps us going. So I'm just going to turn it over to her, and she's going to tell you whatever she feels like telling you. So please welcome her up. I might have to
There she comes.
Well, good morning, Carlsbad.
Good morning.
What a pleasure it is to see you all here today.
just want to make sure.
Today, I want to talk about living get me all fixed up here.
Sound better?
That
Okay.
feels better? It sounds better. This morning I want to talk about living the science of mind. Just what is the science of mind? Ernest Holmes called it a philosophy, a religion, a belief system. I call it a way of life. It's my way of being in the world. Your way of being in the world. And we access it through our minds. It revolves around an energy that I call God. Ernest Holmes referred to this energy as the thing itself. So what is this thing? This thing that we refer to as the power and the presence, the magnificence, the source of all good, universal energy, divine energy. We know it by many different names. It is the source from which all flows. I call it love. That God essence is in and through all creation and is living its life through you and me. This universal energy that we call God, I call God, is all-knowing, all-powerful, everywhere present, omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresence. It works for us by working through us, through our consciousness. Each one of us is divine. The seed of perfection is within each of us. So what does it do, this thing? This infinite spirit works through an immutable law of cause and effect. A law that is impersonal. What you put into it, you will get out of it. Love that points the way. And the law follows. We use it by recognizing our own divinity. Your divinity, one with God. You are all that God is. The power is within you. The master teacher Jesus said, "These things I do, you can also do." But he also said, "It is not I that does the work, but the Father within me, the Father that sent me." So we operationalize this power, this science of mind, this philosophy, this belief system, by first recognizing our oneness with Spirit and that the power is within you. We simply have to remember the truth. And spiritual mind treatment is one of the ways in which we not only affirm this truth, remember this truth, but we actualize this truth. And let's briefly take a look at the steps of treatment. I know we don't have to do this because I overheard you in class last week, but I'll run through them quickly. We recognize the power and presence of Spirit. Just in case you forget, I'm out here, I can do this thing. Well, you can't do it without yourself. You do it on the wings of love. You do it in the presence of the Holy One that I call God. Well, first we recognize that there is this thing, there is this energy, there is this power all around us. It's all God and it's all good. We simply recognize our oneness with God and the connection. So if there's something we want to talk with God about, we got to first recognize that God is there and that we are connected to it. So we remember that connection and reaffirm our truth. And once you affirm that you're seeking, we make our declaration of this truth. I know that this toe that's hurting me this morning is not going to be hurting this morning because I'm one with the Father, and toe hurting is not on the scene today. But we got to let that go. We make a declaration. God, I know you and I are going to get through. Why do you think it is that people who walk on burning coals don't get their feet burned? Did you ever think about that? It's that affirmation they made in their mind. And when we reach that realization in our minds and give thanks to the Father for making it so, and let it go, we release it to Spirit, to God, to do its work. So I know it's easier said than done. You're right. To use it, we recognize the law is always working, and we operationalize it through our consciousness. To create what we want in our lives, we must first create it in our minds and believe in this power and presence and your connection to it. I have a niece who is a master at manifesting. And the funny thing about it is you don't have to wear the label science of mind in order to get what you want on this journey here. You wear whatever label you want. You just have to practice the principles. My niece calls me every morning, and I'll talk about early in her career. She called up every day, "Auntie, how are you?" "Fine, how are you?" "Well, I got my computer screen up, and I've gone to work." She logs in, and then she logs in to the BMW page, and I'm looking at my big, pretty black BMW. I don't have to tell you that from early in career to this day, she's driving that BMW. So where did all of that come from? We grew up in a household that revolved around spiritual principle. I don't know what label they gave it then, but my mom would tell you, give it to God, write it down, put it in the Bible. And I would say to her, I said, "Mom, this isn't working so well." She said, "Yeah, I said, "I wrote it down, I put it in the Bible." She said, "But you go back and get it again. You gotta take it to God, and you and God meditate on it. Commune about your issue, whatever it is." And I'm not talking about things now, but whatever you're working on in your life. Believe in the power and presence and your connection with it, and keep the faith. So the same power that got this niece the BMW, she used when she was laid off. Company gave them 6 years. 6 years to go someplace else in the country. 6 years to make another plan or dream with them, and she didn't want to leave the state and get where she knew she would easily accomplish a new job. She wanted to stay closer to her aunts. Her mother and father were deceased. And so she held on until the very end, and the last day when the company was closing, she turned in her resignation, only to find out that most of the other people in the company had not followed the company's rules and not taken a job elsewhere, or they wouldn't get their severance pay. So she was out there. She turned in a resignation. She started looking for a job. Within 6 weeks, she had found a job. She went to work the first day, the desk piled high. She knew that these people were excited, not only excited to get her, but in the company, she said the managers had fought among themselves as to who would have her on their team. Yes, life is good. The principles work. Living the science of mind works. Living the principles work. What am I saying? I'm saying there's a powerful good in the universe, and that you can use it, and that law works through a law of cause and effect. You simply have to set your intention and give it your attention. Now, how does one set an intention and give it their attention. You have to work with the law. Recognize that there are spiritual laws in the universe. We must, as we read it in the reading today, work with your spiritual principle, your Father in heaven, and believe in it and talk to it. There's some key elements, there's some principles we have. And I understand that once we finish this talk today, once we finish our lovely Barbara, our lovely brunch, that you're going to sit and talk about these principles and practices. But an important part of it, as we heard in the reading today, is that daily communication with God. Living the principles in your life every day. I walk and talk with God every day. When I was delivering my messages here on a regular basis, you know where I wrote many of those walks? Walking down the hill, looking at the ocean, or walking along the beach up on Carlsbad Drive. Not only do we pray, we daily live in the reality of your dreams. That song that Michael Paul sings, I'm walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. I'm walking and talking with my mind, my little horse this morning, but stayed on God. So we, as Stephanie Sorensen tells us, we're always praying. Your thoughts are prayers. Were you aware of that? Did you know whatever you think about,
Comes about.
it's a message from your mind to God's mind. We use that law of cause and effect that we don't think about, and we don't necessarily, in order to live this life, you don't need to call it by some fancy name. When I first went to the Science of Mind Church and they said the officers are now going to give a spiritual mind treatment, I thought, oh, what is that? And then once they gave their prayer, I said, oh, that's just a prayer. Why do they have to give it a fancy name? Why didn't they say that? So what am I saying? You get to use this understanding, and we call it the law, to get whatever you want. And it's not just about getting things, it's just the principle. We recognize the principle under which we're treading this journey here. There's a story about a couple who went on a cruise and were assigned dining seats with another couple. The wife of one of the couples spent much of the dinner hour complaining to her husband's disappointment. The husband said, oh, please excuse my wife. She's in the manufacturing business. And they said, oh, what does she manufacture? The husband said, unhappiness. So my question to you this morning is, what are you manufacturing? What are you constructing? What are you building? What are you dreaming about? What are you creating? Whatever your life is, remember, you are creating it. When I first came to California, I lived on the East Coast, only flatlands, coming from the red clay hills of Georgia to the sandy beaches of California, sandy beaches of Atlantic City. I ended up in Hollywood. My prospective husband took me to his business partner's home, and it was in a house on a hill. And I looked around, I said, this is interesting.
That is great.
Ever since I have lived in California and owned a home. I have lived in a house on a hill. What am I saying? We have to develop a consciousness of that you are seeking. 60 Minutes ran a story about a blind architect who is still practicing. And your question is, how is that possible? How does a blind person practice being an architect? One day, while he was playing ball with his son, he found the ball going in and out of view. They gave him surgery because he had a disease in which one might lose their eyesight. And unfortunately, after his surgery, the doctor came to him and said, I'm sorry, we're not going to be able to retain your sight, and I'm sending in a therapist to work with you around a new career. And the architect said, no, I don't need that. I'm going to look into how I can still practice my profession. To this day, he is still practicing. After declining the counseling, he mastered public transportation in the town and was able to learn to get around town on the buses. He also found that his plans could be printed in 3D. And after getting the plan, he found that as he moved in and out of the houses with the plan, that he could hear sounds in different parts of a house that's under construction. He was able to get about town in his own way. He learned how to get about the buses. And so he's using the latest technology to practice being an architecture. Would you take your goals or your plan to an architect who couldn't see? I would take mine to an architect who said, I can do this. With the help of God, I can do this. The power is within you. You only have to know how to use it. Begin by recognizing your own power. God in you can do all things. It has worked for me all my life. I'm pretty happy with where I am in my life. Thank you. Let me ask you this. We have manufactured in our family, the niece who manufactured BMWs is now manufacturing something else. She's mentoring young people. I have another niece, you all know her well, Kim, who worked in the business world. in the business world, she would call me up and say, Auntie, I think I'm coming in for the platinum, #1 in the country. Sometimes she called me and said, I think I'm coming in emerald, I'm coming in. They've been #1, #2, and #3. They didn't call it Science of Mind because my mother didn't know the title, Science of Mind. She knew that there was a power for good in the universe, and she and my father knew how to use it.
Your necklace is gorgeous.
That comes from the same power and presence. So my question to you, you begin by recognizing your own power. The God in you, as you, can do all things. And my question is, do you spend time in the silence? Do you set your day with spirit? Do you spend your time walking and talking with spirit? I think I've worn out many a pair of sneakers on the Pacific Coast Highway, walking and talking with spirit about whatever was on my mind. Sometimes it might have been the Sunday message that I was going to give in here. I'd walk and talk. And when I got smarter, I started walking and talking into my microphone. But before, I would just walk and talk and walk and talk. And by the time I got home, I had a message. So, what are your plans? What are you dreaming about? What are you walking and talking about? What are you creating? Health? Happiness? You know, we don't always get to create stuff in the future. Sometimes we have to walk all that stuff that showed up, but we don't know where it came from. Believe it or not, despite all the sneakers I wore out on the Pacific Coast Highway, I spent some time recently, when you didn't see me much, learning with a pair of walking sticks to get back up to the top of my hill again, because I fell down and I got a wound and it didn't heal easy. So what did I do in the quiet? You spend some time walking and talking with God. I wish I could sing.
Well,
So-
try it.
As we envision and dream, it's important to let go of negative thinking. Thoughts of lack, limitation, and negativity block the flow. In Living the Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes talks of a river that starts at the top of the mountain in the Rocky and surfaces in various places along the journey down the hill in majestic, strong energy fountains. In other places along the way, it only bubbles because something is blocking the flow. So pipes that are carrying water have to be cleaned from time to time to restore their energy and vitality. So do we. An important principle in using the law is to forgive, to release anything that no longer serves you. It will block the flow. You are meant for greatness. You're God in action. There is a power for good in the universe, no matter what you choose to call it, and you can use it. How will you use it to create your dreams today. Think about that and spend some time walking and talking with your mind stayed on God. Namaste.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know how I feel. You changed my life, totally. I don't know what to say. My goodness. Let me tell you, you do sing. You do sing, Mom. That was one heck of a song you just sung for us. That was a beautiful song. Thank you, Spirit Divine. Thank you. In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and I see there is only your love. There is only your love. It's a love that heals, a love that sets me free. There is only your love. When I lose myself, when I feel that I've lost my way, oh no, when I go inside and I quiet my mind and I hear Spirit, sweet Spirit, sweet Spirit, Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only your love. It's a love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only your love. There is only your love, your love. There is only your love. It's a love that heals, a love that sets me free. There is only, there's only yes, there's only your love.
Everything is good today. And I just want to say that, before we even started the meditation, people were already donating through Venmo. And it's really wonderful to be in this group of people where we're able to put love in circulation in so many ways. And one way, of course, is through your generous support of this center. So I just know that the good flows in, the good flows out, the good surrounds us and supports us. This is a world of abundance. And I invite you to just sing along with Michael Paul. The words are in your program.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
It's the truth. So thank you all. Remember that today we're having a potluck. I think there's plenty of food. If you forgot to bring anything, just stay anyway. We'd love to have you join us. Afterwards, the class, Spiritual Principles, will be meeting. And now I'd like to invite Reverend Dr. Laurie McMacken up to give us our closing prayer.
Okay. Michael, can you play some beautiful music for me? Can you play some beautiful music for me? I love to hear the spirit while I'm praying. Reverend Matti, that was amazing. You're just such an amazing teacher, an amazing mentor, a counselor, a spiritual example for all of us. Thank you so much. And of course, a wise, wise woman. So I invite everyone to close their eyes and to go within as I recognize this universal presence, this universal spirit that we call God, that we call love, that we call eternal light, that's always expressing itself through itself in all things, everywhere in its fullest. It is the diversity into the oneness, into the wholeness of God. And I know that I am one with this power, this presence, this goodness of God. It lives and it moves and it has its being through me as I walk and I talk and I move with God on a daily basis. As I know this is my perfect truth in all ways, I know this is the perfect truth for each and every person here, is an individualized divine expression of the whole. Expressing yourself in your unique way in the world. And I'm grateful that each person here takes this message home with them and just allows Spirit to express greatness in your life. The love, the joy, the beauty, the abundance, whatever needs to express, the wellness, the wholeness is right here and right now. And I'm also grateful for this community as they come together as one to learn, to grow, to expand in the consciousness of God. And I bless each person here on your journey as I release my word into the law, knowing that it is good and it is done, and so it is.
Thank you.
So it is.